Imagine a language made entirely of pictures. Not ancient, not dead, not a ruin. A living language, still drawn by hand on handmade paper in the mountains of southwest China right now. In the 1940s, 4,000 men could read it. Today, 60. Most of them are over 70 years old. When they go, the world loses its last picture language, the last writing system on Earth, where every word is a drawing. The Naxi people live in one of the most beautiful places on Earth, the Himalayan foothills of Yunnan province, where the mountains meet the sky and the Yangtze River begins its journey to the sea. The Naxi have lived here for centuries, and in all that time, they held a belief about the world that most civilizations have forgotten, that nature and man are brothers, half-brothers, different mothers, but from the same father. And when the brothers fight, when humans take too much from the mountains, cut too many trees, hunt too freely, the spirits of nature called Shu bring earthquakes, droughts, floods. The Dongba priest is the one who stands between them, the mediator, the one who reads the treaty aloud, in pictures, and keeps the peace. But his most sacred duty is one that every human civilization has needed. He leads the dead out of hell. When a Naxi person dies, the Dongba comes. He opens the manuscript. He reads the soul's road aloud. The pictures tell the dead which way to go. Here is the problem. The manuscript is not enough on its own. The pictures are a prompt, not a text. Without the priest who knows what each picture means, the scroll is silent. The picture and the priest are one system. Destroy either, and the dead can no longer find their way home. For at least 1,400 years, the Dongba kept the peace between man and nature in the Himalayan mountains of Yunnan. The script has more than 2,000 individual picture characters, each one drawn by hand with a bamboo pen and ink made from ash. A skilled Dongba making a ceremonial scroll would work for 6 months, sometimes in a trance, the manuscript not copied, but received. And when the priest died, the manuscript often went with him, buried in a mountain cave, or burned at his funeral, the knowledge entrusted back to the earth. Then in 1922, a man arrived from the outside world, an Austrian botanist named Joseph Rock, working for National Geographic. Rock spent 24 years among the Naxi. He learned their language. He befriended the Dongba priests. He bought their manuscripts, thousands of them, and sent them to Washington. Today, the Library of Congress holds 2,780 Naxi manuscripts, the largest collection outside China, the finest in the world. Many of them have charred edges, because the priest who owned them burned the corners before giving them away, a way of releasing the sacred power, of saying goodbye. Rock left China in 1949, the year everything changed. After the revolution, the Dongba script was officially discouraged. The rituals were called superstition. The priests were silenced. Then came the Cultural Revolution, and what had been discouraged became destroyed. Thousands of Dongba manuscripts were destroyed. Some were burned. Some were boiled. The paper, covered in hand-drawn gods and creation stories and funeral roads, dissolved into paste and used to build walls. Walls that still stand in Yunnan today, containing inside their mortar the words that told the dead how to find their way home. In the 1940s, 4,000 Dongba priests. By 1980, almost none practicing openly. But about half the surviving manuscripts had been taken out of China before the revolution, to Washington, to Harvard, to Leiden, to Berlin. And today, in a gesture that would have seemed impossible 50 years ago, those manuscripts are being brought back, digitized, scanned, shown to the last 60 priests who can still read them. In Leiden, the university library scanned its 33 Naxi manuscripts, brought the images to Yunnan, and presented them to priest Shi Shanghong to be read aloud. For the first time in decades, the pictures had waited, the priest had waited, and when they met again, the dead could find their road. But there are only 60 of them left, and the youngest are learning, not in the mountains but in classrooms, and the bus stops in Lijiang now have Dongba symbols on their signs. Now think about what the Dongba understood that the world is only beginning to rediscover. Nature and man are brothers, not enemies, not resources to be managed, brothers who owe each other something. And when the balance breaks, someone must stand between the two and read the treaty aloud, in a language both sides can hear. The Cultural Revolution burned those manuscripts because it believed the future had no use for old pictures, for old priests, for old treaties between man and the mountain. And now the world spends billions of dollars trying to remember what the Dongba wrote in pictures for free. Today, the last 60 Dongba priests are visiting local schools, teaching children to draw the picture characters, teaching them that a fish is a word, that a mountain is a sentence. Whether it will be enough, no one knows. The language survives on bus stops, on tourist shops, on the backs of books no one can read. But in the mountains, in the villages, in the schools where old men sit with small children and draw pictures of gods, the language is still alive. The Dongba teaches us something that no amount of digital storage has solved. Some knowledge cannot be stored. It must be performed. It lives only in the act of doing, in the hand that draws, the voice that reads, the community that listens. The manuscript was boiled into walls. The priest was silenced. But neither alone was the knowledge. The knowledge was the conversation between them. Think about what you know that lives only in the doing. The recipe that has no written recipe. The skill that came from watching. The song you learned before you knew words. The Dongba drew the gods so they would not be forgotten. He drew nature as a brother so his people would remember how to treat it. What are you drawing? What are you performing? What knowledge lives in your hands that will die with you if you do not pass it on? The Dongba was born into his duty. He did not choose the picture language. The picture language chose him, and he drew until his hands could no longer hold the pen. Painted wisdom, forgotten stories, painted in light, new story every week. If this story stayed with you, subscribe. The next one will too.